The entire controversy seemed to explode from a single statement that quickly spread across social media and sparked intense debate among viewers. What made the reaction so unusual was that people were not simply discussing the words themselves, but what they believed those words revealed. Some listeners interpreted the comment as an expression of faith and acceptance, while others felt it sounded surprisingly detached given the emotional circumstances surrounding it. Within hours, clips of the statement were being shared across multiple platforms, generating thousands of reactions and creating a wave of discussion that extended far beyond the original interview. Suddenly, a conversation that had been relatively quiet was impossible to ignore. Supporters rushed to defend the meaning behind the comment, while critics argued it raised larger questions that deserved closer examination. And as the clip continued spreading, it became clear that the controversy was no longer confined to online audiences. As the discussion intensified online, attention quickly shifted toward reports of tension surrounding the organization itself. While many of the claims circulating remained unverified, the public conversation began focusing on whether the leaked clip had amplified concerns that already existed behind the scenes. Commentators, content creators, and political observers started examining every public statement connected to the situation. Some argued that the backlash was being exaggerated by critics, while others believed the reaction reflected deeper frustrations that had been building for some time. What made the story particularly compelling was that no one seemed to agree on exactly what was happening. Every new interview, social media post, or public appearance became part of a larger debate. The uncertainty only fueled more speculation, and before long, people were looking beyond the clip itself and focusing on how Erika's role had evolved over the years. Once viewers began revisiting the timeline, many focused on the period following Charlie Kirk's passing and the increasingly visible role Erika played in public life. She appeared in interviews, delivered speeches, participated in events, and became one of the most recognizable voices connected to the movement. Supporters viewed this as a natural transition, arguing that someone close to Charlie would naturally want to preserve the mission he spent years building. Critics, however, questioned how quickly that transition occurred and whether the organization had changed in the process. The debate gradually shifted away from one controversial statement and toward broader questions about leadership, influence, and legacy. As more people joined the conversation, older videos and public appearances started resurfacing online, creating an entirely new chapter in the story that few had anticipated. The resurfacing of older footage dramatically expanded the controversy. Viewers began sharing clips from different periods of Erika's life, including appearances that many people had never seen before. Some observers argued that the footage simply reflected different stages of a person's journey, while others claimed the clips revealed inconsistencies between past and present public images. Online discussions became increasingly divided as people debated what the videos actually meant. Every resurfaced interview seemed to generate another round of commentary, with supporters and critics interpreting the same footage in completely different ways. What began as a discussion about a single statement had now evolved into a much larger examination of public perception, personal history, and reputation. But while old videos dominated headlines, another controversy was quietly gaining momentum behind the scenes. Around the same time, discussions about organizational changes and reported staff departures started attracting attention online. Former employees, commentators, and critics began sharing opinions about internal developments, leading to even more questions about what was happening within the organization. While many details remained disputed, the growing volume of public discussion kept the story alive. Every new report seemed to add another layer of intrigue, encouraging viewers to connect separate events into a larger narrative. Some people argued that normal organizational restructuring was being unfairly portrayed as a crisis,
while others believed the developments suggested deeper challenges. The lack of clear answers only increased public interest. As debates intensified, attention shifted once again, this time toward discussions involving family relationships and Charlie Kirk's legacy.
Perhaps the most emotionally charged aspect of the controversy involved public conversations about family dynamics and the preservation of Charlie Kirk's legacy. Various claims and counterclaims circulated online, prompting heated debates about who should be responsible for shaping how Charlie's life and work are remembered. Supporters maintained that Erika was honoring his memory and continuing his mission, while critics questioned certain decisions and public narratives. Because many of the claims remained disputed, viewers often found themselves trying to separate verified information from speculation. Nevertheless, the controversy continued growing because it touched on issues far larger than politics. It became a discussion about grief, memory, loyalty, and public responsibility. And as those conversations intensified, people began asking what the future might hold for everyone involved.
Today, the story remains unresolved, which is one reason it continues generating so much attention. Questions about leadership, public perception, and organizational direction continue to fuel debate across social media and political circles. Some observers believe the controversy will eventually fade as new issues emerge, while others argue that the discussions have exposed deeper divisions that are unlikely to disappear anytime soon. Regardless of which side people support, there is little disagreement about one thing. A single viral moment managed to reopen years of questions and bring renewed scrutiny to nearly every aspect of the situation. Whether the controversy leads to lasting consequences or gradually fades from public attention remains uncertain. But for now, audiences continue watching closely, waiting to see what happens next.